Yep, you did. Okay. Should we put down the stay tuned sign?
I think it's a good idea.
I'll put it right here. I'm gonna join in so I can see comments here. Hello, Facebook. We are starting soon. We started that.
Is it live?
It's live.
Oh, is that what that live button means?
Yep.
It's live. It's live.
I'm gonna get out of the belly shot. Let's see. How come I don't see it live? Like,
Oh, it's live.
where does it say MusicMedic's live? MusicMedic is live with Curt and Ryan.
Just gonna give that a thumbs up.
Oh, we're still back on this day too.
Oh, yeah, thumbs up.
Hey, I love it. Okay, we're coming here soon. Let's see what we can
Already
get
up to 11 people. Oh, this one says 14.
I got a
13.
saxophone. I got some drills. Soapy water. Oh. Hey, my sister's there. Hey, Laura. Hey, Dean.
15 people.
Okay, we're getting there.
Hello from Germany.
What do we got? A couple more minutes. What time is it? Oh, we got a couple more minutes, right? 57. 3 more minutes. What's Rich doing? Oh, flute. What you got there? Oh, yeah? Which one is that?
That's 300.
That's 300?
With the pilot will fit those guys there.
Oh, yeah?
And
oh, you got me all set up. Nice.
Janusz.
Hey, Jim.
Jim McElmeal.
All right, it's awful quiet in here.
It's time to go.
Wow, Victor from Russia.
Oh my gosh.
What time is it in Russia? They're like,
I think it's September in Russia. Yeah, they're that far ahead.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna get some live vidage here. It's gonna be great. Brian, did you bring your clown suit?
I did. Well, I have my banana suit I could put on.
Oh yeah.
I do actually keep that by my bench. You never
Oh
know.
boy, Matt's watching.
Uh,
Oh, I can't say that name. I love it though. Jabba Bendra. I think
Steve Cook.
Steve Cook. Hey, Steve.
I miss Steve at the Napper convention that didn't happen this year.
I miss Steve every day. I love Steve's smile and his beautiful laugh. You know, he's laughing right now.
yeah.
But it's like a 3-second delay, so we're already talking about something else when he's laughing.
Edwin. Hola. Oh, and Matt Budd wants to see the banana suit.
Okay.
Oh, banana suit. Wow, Ryan is going to get the banana suit.
Going right for the banana
Well, this
suit,
cannot
folks.
delay. It's 10:59, and we start at 11, and I get OT.
So there's just part of the banana suit. That's all you get. That's all you.
Oh, we don't get
stick
to see
around
the
for
banana suit on.
Yeah, we got to stick around for the whole video.
Oh.
You got to stick around for the whole video to see the banana suit. Oh, there it is again.
It's great when
That's
he
all you
wears the
get.
banana suit to work.
They livens things up.
Okay, we got about 30 seconds left. We're gonna do some tone holes. What are you talking about, Ryan?
We're talking about some swedging.
Do you know yet? Did you?
I'm going to make it up on the fly.
Nice, okay.
It's going to be tight, like my swedging. Swaging.
Oh, really?
Swedging and swaging. We're going to talk about that.
Yep.
How we say it incorrect.
Oh, really? Don't.
People cringe.
I don't think we want to get into that conversation.
It's like opening Pantera's box.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have this.
Yeah, Rich got that one. Rich got
That's
that
great.
one. Yeah, they don't see anything. They're just
Okay, let's do this. Let's do some tone
All
holes.
right, let's do this. In a 5, 4, 3.
Hey, Rodney.
Send it away.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about some tone holes. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of this. And let's look at leveling some tone holes. I have this great demonstration horn. Hey everybody, we're gonna level some tone holes here, and I think about 15 years ago we started leveling tone holes with a drill. We stopped basically using a hand tool like this and leveling by hand. I think it's worth just mentioning the difference between the two concepts. Let's see. When you level by hand, you don't use oil, because if you used oil on this file,
Camera error. Sorry.
And we're back.
You're still doing a good job on there. So if we used oil on this and we leveled by hand, which means putting a pilot on there, which means putting a pilot on our file. If we level by hand without oil, if we level with hand with oil, it will take too long, like this. If we level by hand without oil, then the surface, it's hard to see, and this probably has oil on it anyway, but the surface here on the tone hole is going to be a lot scratchier with this tool, no oil. Once you put oil on it, it cuts too slow, and you'll want to level with a drill. So once you learn the drill technique, I don't see why you would learn by hand. So we're just talking about the drill technique today, other than to show you that if you do level by hand, just don't use any oil, and then you might want to go and surface the tone hole after. So here's how we do it. Choose a tone hole that we're going to level, and let's take this one. I might first, of course, first you would level it out. You'd have the body straight. You would do all the work to the body that you need to do to get to this point in the repair. So you've got the tone hole and the body as level as you can mechanically, and now you're ready to level the tone hole. So I will use this.
Yeah. Now, Curt, would you recommend taking it completely apart like this, unsoldering?
Yeah,
everything?
I would take it every
just
post.
completely just.
Sorry.
If you could just tear it, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it should look more like this with it. There's a lyre.
Yep. What's that still doing on there?
In case this is for a marching gig, or if you need a post. There's a post on there. Yeah. You don't have to take the horn completely apart. You have to take all the keys off, but you don't take the post off. And I would level the tone hole with this, or I would check the tone hole with this leveling disc. And I can just put it on there. It's probably level already, but if you put it on there, I can kick it up a little, and maybe you can see that it could be not level. I'm holding it up a little, doesn't matter.
A little bit of light shining.
Yeah, if you have a little bit of light coming out there, and that's where you're checking it. And then I keep these in the stand and safe from being not level.
Those are nice.
Wow.
Where'd you get these?
Great.
Where'd you get those from?
Those are MusicMedic right there, yeah. So this is my disc. I use the what is the grit on this one? The medium.
Probably
grit.
the medium.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4.
We use the medium grit, which is the more coarse. There's medium and fine, and the medium grit will tend to balance out, and just in the beginning it's a little too coarse for the first tone hole or two, but then it levels out, and it just becomes a tool that lasts a long time. So first thing you do is choose a file that's going to fit on your tone hole, and it's not going to hit the nearby tone hole or any posts. I'm pretty clear from the posts on this one.
Yeah, good.
And then I'm going to choose a pilot that fits. That's too big. Did we just have a pilot here? It's okay. Oh, this one's probably better. Either one of these will work. See, that's a little small. That's okay. I'll put my pilot on my file. And now I'm going to use this drill file, and this is extra long to get past the bell if there is a bell, and you can use there's shorter ones in the kit that you can use on palm keys and wherever, but I use usually I'm using the larger drill file. And the neat thing about this is that the tip is hardened and the rest of it is not hardened, so if this thing gets bent, it can be straightened out in a normal fashion like you might straighten a rod on any instrument. Okay, so here's your file. I've always used the Ultimax key oil because the glue that holds this guy on right here is a pressure sensitive adhesive, and the glue can get in there and break up that adhesive. So lately we've also been trying some soapy water. Both of them seem to work. So to follow tradition, I'll use the oil here. I will put a little oil on here. At this point, if you wanted to, you could go, this is an old school technique, and you could put some Sharpie on there.
Just marking, don't use this tone hole. It's not level.
Yeah, don't remove this tone hole. Now, when we cut it, it'll cut away the Sharpie. Now, that said, it's possible to work this file and often cut away, or work any file and find ways to cut away the Sharpie. So I think the best test is to put your flat disc on there and then see it. Okay. So I have my pilot, that's the right size. I have my grit. I put it on here, and I'm going to put it in my drill. Let me tell you that my drill broke. This is our drill.
It served us well.
It did well. It did good.
It's hanging in
and it
there.
broke. This is the drill you should use. But this one is a little bit bigger. I don't like it. It's clumsy. I never used it for tone holes. I'm just using it for this video. This one's broke. Okay. So, but the nice thing here, that's about how fast. Somewhere around 300 RPM.
Yeah, slow. Yeah, some drills have like a high-low setting. You normally set it to the low setting.
Oh, the Harbor Freight drill broke. No
Yeah,
surprise.
I know. Imagine that. What in the world? I mean, we got like a 12-pack. You know, I can't find them anywhere.
Great. All right, so I got my I got my tone hole file here ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand behind this file that I'm holding so that I'm supporting the saxophone here. I don't want to hold it here and push here so that I'm possibly bending the body, and I don't want to push down on the drill when I'm drilling. I just want to hold the drill and let the drill do the work. The drill will center itself, it will level itself. You don't want to try to force it in any direction. You just want to spin it and let it do its work. Okay. Take it off. I can see all the Sharpie is gone.
Hold it up, Kurt, to the... Let's see.
I can see the Sharpie is gone. Okay, and I'll use my disc. I think that was a ringer. I think that tone hole was already level. And I look in there, and I can see that the tone hole's level. Now, this one was pretty level to begin with and has almost no burr, which is really nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, when you level a tone hole and there's no burr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh-wee.
But I would say that deburring tone holes is really one of the trickiest parts about leveling a tone hole. Part of it is that you need to allocate time and relax and do it, because it's a part of the job that has to get done, and you're only halfway through once you've leveled it. How to level a tone, how to deburr. We've been working on this cool little tool.
What is that?
That's a cool little tool that we've been messing around with to deburr, but it's not quite done, and I can't show you that. Here's a tool that we've been working on that I can show you. That's you might make one of these out of a deburr tool that you have. And what we're doing here is using it this way to deburr. It's going really smooth because it's not hitting on a burr. What I usually use more than this is just a spring hook, and I'm using the larger of the two spring hooks, and
MusicMedic spring hooks.
MusicMedic spring hook, and they're really hard, and it allows me to just run that right along the burr and knock the burr off. Now, if this tone hole wasn't level to begin with, you know, I leveled it. What I would do is I would level it down till it's almost level. If it got level, it's okay, but till it's almost level, and then I would come in and deburr, and then you would come back with this file and give it one more shot like this. And that will get that will get a nice flat surface that sometimes the burrs are on there and they can give you a bad reading on your level, or the burrs pop up. It's hard to get it level with the burrs on there. Once you take the burr off, then you can just barely touch it and it gets really nice and level.
I've even gone so far as to take this and just kind of rub it on the top just to kind of smooth those burrs out.
Yep. Yeah, I
Just
went
kinda
through a
knock 'em.
lapping tone holes phase.
Did you?
Yeah, and it wasn't good. It didn't work, but it does make them nice and smooth. Yeah. But that's basically what you're doing there. Yeah. Okay, now there is your level tone hole. We also have tone hole files for flutes, and I am not working on flutes as much, but I'm going to show you these guys. Where is my little flute? Oh, there it is. We work on them so little I didn't even recognize it. Okay, so this is our JS tone hole file for flute, and this guy is the 300. There's a 300, a 600, and a 1200, but the 1200 grit is like a limited edition, I guess you could say. Jim's not going to carry these anymore. I guess he feels that they're too fine, and they are awful fine. So I think we have a couple of them, so maybe the price will go up in years. They'll be
That's right.
collector's
Put it,
items.
yeah, put it in
on
your time
eBay.
capsule.
Yep. So with these guys, instead of a disc that's glued onto the surface, you have a diamond plated surface here. So this is a flat disc and it's diamond plated. So what the oil that you use or the lubricant that you use, it doesn't matter. It's not going to take the disc off. Of course, it's a flute file, so this is much finer. And these you can use by hand, and because the flute tone holes are rolled, they often they're easier to cut down. So with these, you can put a little soapy water onto your file, and you put a little soapy water onto your file. You can use the back of this to check your file, check your tone hole for level.
Nice leak light.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. You can use the back to check for level, and then flute tone holes you're filing by hand.
Simple twist of the wrist.
And did you also use oil, Curt, with these? You can?
You can use oil, you can use soapy water.
Okay.
Yep, either way. And most people are using the 300 grit. The 600 grit is really quite fine. There it is, folks. Those are tone holes, and now they are level. All right, thank you. Let's check out Ryan.
All right, walk it on over.
Ooh. Is that the banana suit?
Oh, didn't mean to see that. So here we are back at my bench. We're going to go over a little bit of swedging today, and as you can see, I've kind of had everything laid out. All my swedging tools, swedging pliers, post-fitting pliers, post-moving pliers, some of our MusicMedic swedging pliers as well. I will say that there is the controversy of whether it's pronounced swedging or swaging. I think machinists traditionally will call it swaging. I call it swedging. Not that I'm right or wrong, but I'm just putting that out there. So
It's spelled different.
it is okay. Spelled and pronounced completely different. Wow, who knew?
Can you go over some of these tools, Ryan?
Yes.
Just so we have a kind of overview of.
Sure. Yeah. So these are swedging pliers. Okay. But I think I should go over real quickly just the act of swedging. Here's an example of a horn that is, the keys are fairly loose. Okay. And you can hear that right there?
Let me get down in here.
Oh yeah, Ryan's gonna work his magic on this guy.
Oh yeah, this is. It doesn't have pads in it, so it's gonna be loud here. But this is what we're listening for. See how that actually moves side to side? You can really see it with this front F right here because it's so loose. Here, when it gets down here, you look at that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you tighten this up, and swedging is you're using your swedging pliers to kind of pinch down and squeeze that hinge tube closer around the rod. Okay, not only does that make it tighter around the rod, but it also lengthens it. So I'll probably take the swedging pliers in here, tighten that up, and it'll eliminate this side play, which will also take care of this as well. So.
You do that on the horn there?
I would do it off.
Off.
I would do it, yeah. I do everything off, and what usually ends up happening, you end up going a little long, and then you end up cutting back. But back to the tool, so you know kind of how swedging is done. My swedging pliers, you can see the 3-holed ones, the Knipex that we have here. We also have the small flute and clarinet, 3-holed Knipex, and these are my special. These are for my custom ones. The Busher Big B berries, the bigger hinge tubes. You also have post-fitting pliers, the large and the small. That really doesn't do anything as far as the hinge tubes. That does more with the post, and I'll kind of draw a little example for you as well here. And then we have the post-moving pliers. So if I need to move one of these in or out when I'm doing my post alignment prior to key fitting, I'll use these guys as well. I also obviously have my handy dandy mallet, some more swedging pliers here, some other little tools that I've made, these threaded post checkers.
So you said swedging, but that was kind of, you just talked about key fitting in general.
Yeah, key fitting in general is kind of
posts
everything.
and-
Yeah, swedging is just the act of lengthening this hinge tube. So
I mean, I'm not saying you're still, you're doing good, Ryan. Just curious.
Sorry, guys.
so let's say,
Uh-oh. Cameraman. It's early. We drinking.
It is
as you can
Wednesday.
see, we
It's
have
5
our
o'clock in
posts.
Russia.
Okay, we have our post here, and so here's our key.
All right.
Okay, it's right here in the middle. Okay, here's a key right there, and there's the peg. Okay. What we're trying to do is eliminate this side play, this looseness in between. So what we need to do, there's a couple things to kind of start. First thing is our post has to be faced and flat. The next thing we do is we have to make sure that obviously the posts are aligned. And then finally we can get into where we're actually swedging. And this is when I would take my swedging pliers, I would grab it right here, and I would actually squeeze. And what would happen is this would kind of get a little bit thinner, and then it would kind of push this hinge tube this way a little bit. Okay, so that actually tightens around the rod, and it actually will lengthen as well. What usually ends up happening is you can't really swedge to fit. Okay, you actually have to swedge a little bit longer. The key gets tight, and then you use some kind of cutter set. We have our hinge tube cutters here.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Nice.
But I'll show you kind of up close if you can see here what that looks like. And that's what you would use to actually cut it to fit. So that's pretty much the essence of swedging. So you can see back to this, I have to kind of plan out where I'm going to swedge. Okay, here's a nice little example here on this B. So I can swedge here, which will move this tubing down this way, which would tighten this up. Okay, or I could swedge here, which would tighten this up as well. Well,
Sorry about that.
so, but you can see right here is where I would choose to swedge. Okay.
So on that key, can you again, Ryan? Where could you swedge on that key?
So to get this B key to be tighter,
All right.
okay, it's a very short hinge tube here. There's no real way to swedge, so I can either swedge here and that'll tighten it up, but I can also swedge right here this C key, and that'll move it over as well
And tighten up the B
tighten
key.
up the B. Yeah, so you have kind of some options depending on where you can and where you can't swedge. Because right here on this B key, you can see you have a foot, and then you have a spring cradle, but there's all this real estate over here to swedge.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's probably where I would do the majority of my swedging. This is a great example here, in this front F. Okay, this one that's so loose. There's going to be a lot of swedging done in here to kind of get rid of this play, but this wiggle is actually coming from right in here. So I would probably see if I can
Try to get into that.
yeah, get in with my thinner jaw swedging
nice.
pliers. You can
Yeah.
actually see I started with the
wider
with
ones.
the wider ones, the MusicMedic wider ones,
And
you
as
can
you
see-
got better, you got thinner and thinner.
exactly.
pliers.
You get trim that down, and
Now
then finally you get the one where you
He's a
need it.
master.
So
Get it right in there.
There you
Oh,
go.
I see. So you whittled that guy down.
Exactly. Yeah. Put some relief so you can get in there and really get all around.
So is there like a number of spaces that you're trying to hit on one key like that?
Yeah, I try to. So let's say you have a key that, here's your hinge tube, and here's your key here. There's your pad cup. Okay. What I try to do is not just swedge on one side. I try to swedge evenly on either side. It's like saying, okay, if I grab this in the center, it still can do this, but if I grab it here and here, it's very stable.
But what if you can only get to one side?
That's when you, like, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I would do is I would do a lot of swedging here. Most keys I'd probably swedge, let's say maybe that about.
Yeah,
that
right.
amount right
Okay.
there. With
So-
something like this to really make sure it's tight and we can eliminate this side play, I would probably swedge it all the way down here. So all of this would be super tight around that rod.
Oh, so the part you do as much as you can.
Much as I can,
and then
yeah.
in that little spot you'd get in there if you could.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like here's another great example too, this key, trying to get it to fit in between these posts, because you have a spine on either end. It's going to be a little tough to swedge at the very ends. So what I'll do is I'll swedge here and I'll swedge here.
And hold it in those
And
two
hold it in,
spots.
yeah. And it's still, rather than grabbing on the very end, you're just coming
Yeah.
in a little bit.
Okay. So if it was a really long key, you would swedge on the two ends.
The two ends.
Not the whole key.
Exactly, yeah. You're not just going to go in the middle and
Right.
squeeze there and expect it to lengthen like this. You have to get to the side, either end, and then lengthen
Stretch
like
it out.
that.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of sitting here squeezing, squeeze and rotate. The two types of, I guess, swedging techniques is guys will put the rod in, they'll squeeze, and they'll rotate as they're holding it down. Okay, another way to do it is you put it in there, you squeeze, you release, and you rotate like a quarter of a turn, squeeze, release, quarter of a turn, squeeze, release. There's always a chance of leaving marks on the hinge tubes. If I had a way of never leaving marks, I would let you know. If you figure out a way, please let me know. But the way that if you squeeze, then release, and then rotate, squeeze, release, rotate, the chances of marring is less. If you squeeze and then rotate as you're squeezing, the chances of marring is going to be a little bit higher.
Sure. You
I
put
tend-
any oil on there?
I don't. I've heard of people doing oil. I don't. A lot of the ones
sorry.
that we work on here in the pro shop ended up getting refinished. So I can do the squeeze and rotate method to really get it nice and tight. But then I go in and clean it up, polish up the keyboard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any live questions on swedging?
They're all in Spanish.
Mm.
Matt's handling it though.
Matt is.
He's got Google Translate. Let's see what's here.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you all for coming.
Yes. Thanks
And-
for watching. Cone holes.
Oh
Swedging.
wait, what's it say?
Uh-oh.
Please discuss the nickel keys.
Oh,
The
yeah.
nickel. I thought you guys would. Yeah, these nickel keys traditionally.
Love them.
Yeah, traditionally, most saxophone keys are brass. Okay, so it's brass hinge tubes. Okay, so swedging brass is a little bit easy.
Fun.
It's fun.
It's fun and
actually-
exciting.
I look
Yeah.
forward to coming into work when I
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
swedge
yeah.
brass. But
I
when you're
agree.
swedging nickel, it's a harder metal, so it really requires a lot of force to get this nickel to compress and then lengthen.
Not as fun.
Not as fun. And it also requires very sharp hinge tube cutters. So what I will do is I will keep a fresh set of our hinge tube cutters separate that I only use on nickel keys.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a
Yeah,
separate-
it's tough. It's really, the nickel keys are tough.
They
They're
are.
going to wear out your tools and your hands.
Exactly. They're good for longevity. I mean, this will probably stay in adjustment a lot longer, but getting it there is going to be very difficult.
Yep.
Very difficult. So, yes, good question.
All right.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Take care, everyone.
Yep, that's Curt. I'm Ryan. Rich is there too, I
Yep.
swear.
We're all
I'm
here. We're all here. It's just Ryan.
The banana suit. You guys messed
Pressure. Pressure.
Nope.
Up, 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 up.